Well, hello there, fellow fish freaks. Today is Species Sunday, and I'm actually going to do a Species Sunday this week. So, what is this week's species? This week's species is a little bit different. It's not a fish. For all you Invert fans out there, be sure to watch this video. This video is going to be all about the crystal red shrimp, otherwise known as Caridina Candonensis. I think I said that right. So, let's go and have a look at that, why don't we? So, welcome back. Now before I dive into actually showing you the species, a couple of updates really. First one is about my health. Now a few of you might realise that I've been complaining about being ill lately, which is completely not like me. After having a number of tests performed on myself, it's become clear that I have contracted a spleen infection. How? We don't know. What can be done about it? Not a lot. I've just got to ride it out. So I've got to basically not stress myself out, take it easy, and just ride it out basically, stop being a wimp. So that's the first update. A second update is kind of a cool one. A good friend of mine sent me something to help cheer me up whilst I was going through these motions, and it's actually something that I'm wearing right now. As you'll realise, I've changed my top. Now why have I changed my top? Because a good friend, Domungi, massive shout out goes to you my friend, sent me this cool t-shirt. Yeah boy, move the camera back a bit. DW Aquatics, my logo, and stay sexy. Hell yeah, cool t-shirt, well made up. I'm not sure whether this will be the right way as you're watching it. As I'm recording it, it's backwards, but it says stay sexy. And that is what I say on the end of this video. So without further ado, let's go and look at some shrimp. Back in a tick. Welcome back, fellow fish keepers. I'm just trying to get these shrimp to come up quite well, but the zoom seems to be distorting them a little bit, which sucks. Shame none are close to the front of the tank really. Anyway, you get the idea. So that is the crystal red shrimp, Caridina Candonensis. Now these aren't, well, they are a very popular shrimp. Everyone seems to be wanting these at the moment, but they're not generally the easiest of shrimp to keep, although I am finding them quite easy. I'm keeping these with some Limia Negro Fasciata young, perfectly suitable. But these shrimp prefer soft and acidic water. I've got them in a tank where the water is right, the TDS is 96 and the pH is 6.8, so near enough ideal for this species of shrimp really. So yeah, a bit more information about these. Crystal red shrimp, as I've already mentioned. They come in red and white, but the bands of coloration can vary shrimp to shrimp, grade to grade. So whilst it's important to have the correct water parameters, as I mentioned earlier, soft and acidic, you don't really want to mess around with the tank too much. So for instance, these get a small water change once per week, and that's pretty much all they'll need, rather than every couple of days. I find the more water changes that I do, the harder it is to keep them for some strange reason. The breeding of this shrimp it's really quite easy, very much like cherry shrimps in my opinion. However, these shrimp have been severely inbred, so there's a lot of poor examples of this shrimp in the hobby at the moment, you know, which is sad, but I suppose people are just seeing the money. These fetch around £4 to £6 each in shops, I believe, which you wouldn't ever catch me paying, nice shrimp or not. So yeah, they're relatively easy to keep, very easy to breed. The feeding isn't different to any other shrimp really. They're an algae eater, they're also a scavenger. Feeding's best done once a day. There are many different foods available. I tend to use NT Labs Shrimp Enhancer Granules, which is a good granular food. Let me just get these back in focus again. Pain in the bum. Yeah, so it's a good granular food. It's good all-round food. And the Alan Rapace also does a shrimp food, which is brilliant. You can get little clay plates that you put the Rapace in, and it's just sort of like a feeding station for shrimps. I highly recommend that. They will eat, with them being scavengers, they will eat whatever they come across, but they're not used to a constant 24/7 food source, so therefore you don't need to go all out on making sure there's always food in the tank. It's not like trying to raise baby fish, for example, where you just feed little and as often as you possibly can. The best way to keep these shrimp, and pretty much any other shrimp, is with food that's high in nutrition and iodine, but whilst using a high nutritional food, you do need to ensure that it's not spoiling your water quality as well, so keep an eye on that. And basically, you want to particularly look for foods that help with the molting of these as well. Since some foods actually make it more difficult for the shrimp to shred their exoskeleton, whereas the NT Lab shrimp food that I mentioned earlier, it helps the shrimp be able to molt the exoskeleton and make it as stress-free as it possibly can. And that's what you want to aim for really. If you get these things locked down, keeping these shrimp is very easy. Now grading, as with a lot of shrimp, can be done, but in my opinion, if you're shopping online, use a highly recommended source. Don't just go to Craigslist or eBay, find the shrimp and then buy it because they're claiming to be A grades. A lot of the shrimp these days are falsely advertised as certain graded, so just be wary of that really. There's generally other stores will label shrimps as specific grades, just basically because a lot of people will claim that they're a different grade than what they actually are, just so that they can get more money out of them really, which it's sad but it's true at the same time. Live plants, in my opinion, is a must for keeping these guys. They like to pick off the algae that's forming on the plants, And they'll also munch on all the little one-celled microorganisms that surround the plants. Soft sandy substrate, don't need a big tank at all. I'm currently keeping these in a 12-inch cube tank with these fry, and they're doing really well. Excellent. What are they like to keep in comparison with cherry shrimp, for example? Well, from my point of view, that I don't say that these are any harder to keep, although some shrimp buffs out there might completely disagree. I like to keep things my own way. I also like to keep things in the easiest possible way. So, I tried it my way and it worked. So yeah, easy to keep, easy to breed, very nice shrimp. And that's all you really need to know, to be honest. There's not a great deal to these. So I'll end the video there. I hope you all enjoyed it. As always, stay sexy. And I'll see you in another video soon. Bye!